Hello. In a few moments, we'll be doing a meditation, about a 15-minute meditation. I'm Amy Ballantyne, and normally I would be at the Dixon Garden and Gallery, and I would be leading a meditation there Fridays at noon for their lunchtime meditations. And since they're having to close down, I understand that the gardens are still open, so I definitely recommend you Memphians check that out. And it's the gallery part that is closed, so we will just try this instead. And I have to say, I've never done Facebook Live before, so this is a big experiment. So if this even actually gets broadcast, that will be an exciting thing. But we are hopeful that we might work something out for the Dixon to be able to broadcast live meditations on Fridays. So just stay tuned for that. I'm going to wait a couple minutes to get started for people who might actually hop on here and join at noon. But I wanted to go ahead and pop on here. And I do understand that the Dixon actually has recorded a few meditations that were developed specifically to be able to listen to in their gardens. And they were crafted with those particular gardens in mind. So you might want to try jumping on the Dixon's website. You might be able to find and listen to those meditations either at home, or if you end up visiting the gardens, you can listen to one of the meditations that they have had developed specifically for that particular garden. And I think that would be a lovely experience. I happen to plan on visiting them as well later today and checking that out. So we'll get started in just a minute. That is really funny. I just noticed, hey, I happen to have my Centers mug here. So, yeah, if you have your tea, your drinks, whatever you have, bring those here. We can enjoy a spot of tea together before we get started on our meditation. Maybe some of you even have your lunch, and go on and eat that mindfully while we prepare to do our meditation together. I'm sitting here in my living room with my dog a few feet away, so if you hear some barking, that might be Snoopy. She's usually, oh, hi, Andrea. I just saw your message. She says hello. That's pretty cool to see. Yay, it looks like it's up and running and people are seeing it. And it's good to have you here, Andrea. It's nice to not be here meditating completely alone today. All right, looks like it's noon here in my house, so we'll go ahead and get started. I did just post a link last night, you might see on my Facebook page, to some work that Judson Brewer is doing, who has created some small little few-minute clips talking about anxiety with the coronavirus, some tools for and some perspectives for handling anxiety around that. So I definitely encourage you all to check it out. He's a tremendous researcher in the field of mindfulness and addictions, and so also mindfulness and anxiety. So definitely check those videos that Judson Brewer has done. And so this meditation, I based it loosely on one of his videos where he talked about how we have we get so inundated with worry, and our minds just spin out with worry. And he talked about one of the important strategies for coping with anxious thinking or even depressive thinking in this time is being able to just keep a perspective, to not always get so caught up in the thoughts and then get stuck in indecision, but to be able to just notice the thoughts, to be able to come back to the present, to the breath, and to notice what is in my control that I can handle now, instead of worrying about all the unknowns and the things we can't possibly do anything about right now in this current situation. Things just change moment to moment. So he talks about really figuring out what is in our control that we can do something about now and spending our energy on that. Even if it's just as simple as I can fix my lunch now. I can just take care of my needs right now. Just taking things day by day. So that's going to be the theme of our meditation. So I invite everyone to go ahead and get in their meditation posture. If they haven't already, I'll ring our bell and we'll begin and sit for about 15 minutes in this lightly guided meditation. So taking your meditation seat, sitting in a way that allows for ease, but also alertness. Just noticing how it feels here in this seat, in this moment. Connecting with the body, feeling the cushion or the chair underneath, perhaps feeling our feet planted on the floor. Noticing sounds around us, even within the body. Giving permission for our attention to be here now. Coming fully into the present, giving permission for us to leave aside whatever we've been carrying around with us today, our worries, thoughts, plans. Giving ourselves the gift of this present moment. And as we settle in, focusing attention now on the breath, feeling the whole body breathing. Following the entire cycle of the breath in and out. Maybe feeling the expansion of the chest and the belly, maybe even the back. And if the mind is especially busy, we may want to help anchor our attention on the breath by counting each breath, or by using a mantra, such as breathing in on each in-breath, and then saying breathing out on each out-breath. Coming back to the breath. And while paying attention to the breath, noticing if for you the breath causes distress. And if connecting with the breath is highly uncomfortable for you, feeling free to choose a different anchor of your attention. So you might focus on the sensation of your feet on the floor, or the feel of the seat underneath you. You might even connect with and pay attention to the sensation of your hands. They might be on your lap, resting there. They might be folded together. But the idea is to pick one anchor where you can keep the focus of your attention in this present moment. And if you are attending to the breath, then noticing it where you feel it most easily in the body. Might be at the nose, at the chest, or the belly. Just focusing attention in a more specific way on the breath. Allowing yourself to be intimately familiar with the sensations that arise in that one particular place in the body where you're feeling and experiencing the breath. And you may notice that the mind is wandering away from the breath, maybe even quite frequently. Just knowing that this is common, and especially in times of anxiety, it's even more common. And so noticing that, and with kindness, without judgment, bringing attention back to the breath or to your anchor of attention. Bringing some compassion as you bring attention back, just even noticing and labeling what these are some worry thoughts. I'm noticing my mind is daydreaming, trying to cheer myself up. Just noticing it with kindness, recognizing this is normal, that everyone is dealing with anxious thoughts or just busy thoughts. Bringing kindness to yourself the way you would to a friend. Just noticing there's a lot of worry here, concern, preoccupation. And that's okay. Just letting it all be here, acknowledging it, but then gently coming back to the breath, letting it be your anchor, your home base, a place from which to be centered. So over and over, just following the flow of the breath, resting in the rhythm of the breath. Noticing when attention has wandered into emotion or thoughts, maybe feeling very lost in thought or emotion. Sometimes it can feel like being in quicksand or standing underneath a waterfall, feeling really inundated or stuck in the middle of an emotion or a thought. And bringing compassion to that. Noticing how hard it really can be to get out of the middle of that. And with kindness and understanding, bringing the mind back to the breath, to a place of greater ease, giving yourself a little space between yourself and the thoughts or the emotion. And if it helps, in addition to attending to the breath and focusing on the breath, maybe even bringing a hand to the heart or another area of the body to help bring compassion and ease. We can bring compassion with words, but also with touch. Just resting here in this space. And now opening attention up, expanding awareness and attention not only to the breath, but also to everything in this moment. Just resting in this big open space of awareness. Letting everything come and go like the clouds in the sky. Watching it all from this space. Watching it all, but always coming back to the breath anytime that's needed. And now from this kinder, compassionate space, checking in and seeing what is it as you end in a moment the meditation and go about your day. What is it that is within your control? What is it that you can attend to, that you can make decisions about or take action on? It might not be very far ahead in the future, as so much is unknown, but what about for today? Or maybe even for this hour, or even for these next few minutes? What's needed, and what is it that you can attend to, that you can make a decision about? Maybe it's just making lunch, taking care of yourself that way. Maybe it's knowing that it might be good to get some exercise. Maybe it's just getting through the rest of this day at work and completing the task for work and being able to allow yourself to focus on that when the meditation ends, and being able to bring a more calm, collected presence to your workday. Just noticing what that is, knowing that even in uncertain times, we can be present and show up for whatever we need to do in this moment, if we take it one day at a time. Knowing that life is lived in these small moments. And as we consider that, I'll be quiet for a moment to let us consider that, and then I'll be ending in a moment with a poem. And now reflecting on the words of this poem by Mary Oliver, The Summer Day. Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean. The one who has flung herself out of the grass. The one who is eating sugar out of my hand. Who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down. Who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I have been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? All right, we've come to the end of our meditation, so waking up the body, opening the eyes, going back to the rest of our day. And I thank everyone who watched. I'm glad it was able to be broadcast. Thank you all for joining me and contributing to my meditation practice and letting me try something new. And whether I'm doing this live with the Dixon or on my webpage, I plan to make this a regular thing. So enjoy your weekend. Thank you for being here. Bye-bye, y'all.